Hello everyone, PJ Sessions here. Today we're talking drums. I know you're tired to hiring drummers and, having 2 hours just to set up the drums, set up the mics, and having to go all the way to a studio. I know. I'm a drummer and I still hate that. Even though I get hired to do those things. Also, if you're a drummer like me, you're tired of having to demo every single idea that you just put on the drum set. How do you get a really good sound in a really simple and effective way? Now let's jump into the session where we're gonna teach you how to make real good sounding drums. First things, we're gonna be using drum libraries. You can use anything, really. First thing is to understand how a drum set works and how a drummer plays. So, basic things. We have 4 limbs. We use the 4 limbs on the drum set. So, we have 2 hands. One keeping time and the other one keeping the backbeat. Also, we have a right and a left leg. Usually, one is on the bass drum and the other one is on the hi-hat, or if you have a double bass, you're gonna have like both on the drums. So let's make a simple drum beat now, just like a backbeat feel. Now let's add the hi-hat to keep time, just on 8th notes. One of the secrets to make this sound good, like a drummer is playing, you need to mess up a little bit with the quantization of the notes. Like no one plays like a drum machine, no one plays like a robot, so just move things a little, just a little bit. So you remove the grid, and then on the first hits I like to just be quantized, so you get like a sense of the feel, like on the tempo, and then this I'm gonna rush a little bit. This one just a tiny bit. This is gonna live as this, and this is gonna rush it, and this is gonna drag it just a hair, just a little bit. See, it's just a little tiny thing. Drum samples are affected by velocity, which means it's how hard a drummer is striking the drums. One of my tricks is to select everything and do here randomize velocity, and then you're gonna say, PJ, but this is gonna sound awful, like, and it will, but it's a start. It's just a start. So what I always tend to do is grab my snares and pull them high as I can. My kicks, I leave them in kind of medium velocity because I don't like too much strong kicks. Now the hi-hats, I go individually one by one to see which ones need to be louder and which ones we need to be quieter. I'm basing this in the way that I play drums, so every time I have my hands together, I usually have more power on the hi-hats here. So that's why I'm putting, every time I have like a snare, I'm putting way more velocity on the hi-hat than when I have just a kick. Now that we did like a basic backbeat, I'm just gonna write down with those 3 elements a basic groove. I'm gonna use this as my foundation, so I'm gonna keep my snare on tune 4, and then I'm gonna add like a little bit more kicks, like a little bit more variation, so we can get like just we were programming for a real song. Now it has a little bit of variation on the kick, because no one is gonna just play 1 and 3. Everyone, I have new music coming out, so pre-save link, it's in the description. You can find other songs in there too. Now, back to the video. Secret number 2 to make this sound more real, every drummer will do this, is add ghost notes, especially on the snare. If you quantize your ghost notes strictly to the grid, they will sound robotic. They will sound awful. So what I do, I start with them static, just to see how many ghost notes I want in between beats. Then I'm gonna just like play with velocity, and then I'm gonna play with the quantization. Now, it's the part that we mess with our samples. So we're gonna try different cymbals, we're gonna try different like snare rolls, we're gonna try different snare positions. So first thing is I'm gonna make this an 8-bar loop. On the 5th bar, we're gonna play not the hi-hat, we're gonna open up to the right cymbal. Now I'm gonna just change some of the ghost notes to a drag cymbal. Sometimes drummers don't do like single strokes, they do like a drag motion. On songs, the drummer do like a transition or a fill every 4 bars. You don't overdo it, just think about if your song needs or not. As we're just doing drums here, I'm gonna just compose here on the 4th bar a drum fill. Just a 2-tempo drum fill that's gonna break the groove a little bit and introduce us to the right cymbal. Also, give a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. You need to know what kind of drum kit you have on your song. As we're doing MIDI, you can just have like this metal drum kit with 16 toms like all over your drummer, or you just like a jazz kit, we just have like a floor tom. Usually drums, they come with like 2 rack toms and 1 floor tom. This is the most basic drum set sound that you're gonna find anywhere. Now, to sell your MIDI drums as a real drummer, you need good reverb. Drums are recorded into a big room, and it's a room that is more alive, so they usually have also like room mics to capture like the reverb and from the drum set, and you need to replicate that. For reverb, I'm just gonna use Reverb phone waves. And I'm gonna put it on a room. There we go. As for time, I don't want to be too long, so we're gonna put like 120. It's gonna be good. Early diffusion, just a little bit of diffusion, just a tiny bit. Now early reflections, as I'm imagining like this is a big room but it's not like a concert hall, I'm just gonna like minus 1 dB. There we go. Damping, just a little bit on the lows, and just grab a little bit of the highs here. And for EQ, just gonna leave it as this. And now we're gonna listen to how much we're gonna send our drums to the reverb. Yeah, I ended up using 9 dB. Naturally, the next step, what I usually do, is to separate all those MIDI drums into individuals and just print the sound in this, so I can just have like more control on post-processing each individual piece, because even though this is a good library, I really like to mess up with the sound design of the whole thing and have kind of like a unique drum sound. Like the keys, just summarizing the keys to have a good drum sound, especially coming from MIDI, is first of all, think like a drummer. So know how the drum set works, how drummers play, how they kind of think when approaching a song that they're gonna play on. Mess up with your velocity, quantization. Don't leave stuff static on the grid just like you add them. And also have a good reverb. You need to have a convincing sound of reverb that this is a tracked drum set. It's not just like a drum loop or even a bunch of samples that you just stack together. This is actually a recorded room with which has like a live sound. So those three things is gonna change your MIDI drums forever. So guys, that was it for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just give a like and subscribe. Also, I have new music coming in, so pre-save D.N.A. The link is in the description, and also listen to my first single, Your Voice. The link is also in the description. See you guys in the next video.